Hey,
BeatStars.com.
Testing. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me? Testing. Got the praise God in the morning. Not obviously not the exact instrumental, but I like this one. But let me show y'all. All right. So let me show y'all. I'm telling y'all, we putting out an album. The album is on the way. Grand Rising, good people. My fault. How rude of me to not write that in the chat. My apologies. Grand Rising, good people. Oh shoot, Lucille was up and at it early at 7:45. Getting to it. Let me actually hold on. I was gonna put on this other song that I wanted y'all to hear, but wait. Whoa, not that energy. It's too early for that, baby. Too early for that. Y'all know we keep it regular. Get the morning, the AM vibes going. Lucille was up at 7:45, tapped in. Good morning. Have a blessed day for you all. I'm ready for this live this morning. Lucille, we are ready for you. Sending peace, love, and light. But first and foremost, y'all know what I need. Y'all already know what I need. Hold on one second. Let me actually do this. Hopefully everybody's having a great week. Y'all know what we doing. It's a finished Friday. We're getting to it in every way. We're making sure that we finish everything. The more finishes that we have, the more likely we are to accomplish our goals. It's all about finishing those little steps. So think of every week like an opportunity to complete that little step that's going to add up to the entire year, all of our goals and everything like that. So I need y'all to do me a favor. First and foremost, like as you join. Then right next to that like button, you see that share button. So for that share button, I need you to do exactly what I'm about to do. I'm getting ready to go in my group message. I copied the link. Hold on, copy the link. Go into my group, send it on there. And then, matter of fact, I'm going to challenge. Do I challenge y'all to do that? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. So then I also make sure that I go on Instagram. I only do it on Instagram. I probably should be doing it on some of the other ones, but I think they get alerts. I just put mine on Instagram because they don't get those particular alerts. Because Instagram, we are not able to go live on Instagram as of right now with all the other platforms. We would just have to choose Instagram. So I'm going on Instagram. Appreciate y'all sharing it with y'all friend group. Appreciate y'all sharing it with anybody that you think would be able to contribute to a lot of our conversations in a positive way. Obviously, that's what we are about. We're live. Tap in. All right, so I've got it on my social media platforms. Y'all got it on y'all's, and we about to get to it. What do we have going on today? Oh my God, already got the notes pulled up, man. You know it's gonna be a great day. We already got the notes pulled up. Hot Topic Friday. We're gonna talk a little bit about the WNBA. We're gonna talk about an interesting conversation that Tucker Carlson had with Joe Rogan. We're going to talk about Shannon Sharp. We may talk about Megan Rapinoe. We may talk about Michael Rappaport. We got 2 readings from the book Letting Go. We're going to start off the show with a reading, and then we're going to finish off the show with a reading as we transition into our meditation and visualization exercises we always do. And then we got a couple of videos that'll hopefully set us on our weekend with the right mindset. Shout out to my bro Urs. He sent me a couple that I missed actually. And Urs, if you there, where did you send me the American Dream? That post that you sent me on the American Dream. If you still have it, send it over. You don't got to send it now. We'll maybe revisit that on Monday. All right. Let's get to it, man. Wait, hold on. Why is my computer not charging? The charge is not in. Hold on one second. Let me make sure it's plugged in. All right. Let's get to it. We got a book. We're gonna start off. Wait, hold on. We're gonna start off today with a reading from Letting Go. If I can find where I placed the book, here it is. And it's about, so this entire book, if you are an uptight person, if you are the type, hold on, let me acknowledge my fault. Grand Rising King, beautiful day to have a beautiful day. OG. Urs, we got to meet, yo. We got a meeting at 12. I think it's at 12:30. We're talking to a realtor. Yo, just know that we are getting ready to demonstrate to you. Our entire team is getting ready to demonstrate to everybody how visualization, how important it is, and the power in working with a group in order to accomplish a goal. Putting ego to the side, putting all that to the side, and just maximizing and empowering each individual's unique gifts and qualities and skills that they bring to the table and using it rather than egos getting in the way. And, well, no, I want to do this. I want to do that. Yo, we have so much around us. We have so many resources around us, so many amazing people around us that a lot of times we just, I don't know, we'd rather compete with them, just like we saw with the David Goggins post on Wednesday, where David Goggins was saying, like, yo, when you meet people that have great qualities, great skills, great talents, don't compete with them. Don't compete with them, work with them. So we're getting ready to show y'all what that can manifest into in what we're building in Miami, Florida. My fault, OG, Miami, Florida, USA. You feel me? So just super excited about that. Super excited about that. Shout out to Alana in the building. Shout out to Alana. How's the weather up there? How's the weather up there? Obviously, I'm down in Miami. It's sunny. It's beautiful. We'll be at the beach working by 2, maybe 3, if I can finish everything for the day. So it is what it is. All right, so let's get into this reading. Now, this is about anger. And like I said, this entire book, Letting Go, it's very good for people that tend to stay on things for maybe a little bit too long, tend to get bothered by things for a little bit too long. You know, the type of people where it's just like something that somebody else may do may just bother me. I just can't let it go. And then it ends up snowballing into something much greater. Get this book, Letting Go by David R. Hawkins. Get this book. I'm telling you. It's I feel like it's already done wonders for me, just as far as my perspective and outlook on relationships and life in general. So this particular passage is about how we can use anger positively. A lot of times we'll get angry about certain situations, and our response, because it lacks so much logic, because we're just angry and we're just very responsive rather than what would be the right word, rather than processing the situation and then moving forward with the decision that makes the most sense based on the outcome that we're looking for. So we all do it. It is what it is. Now we're going to read a passage about how to use anger in a positive way. All right. It is common for people to repress their anger, aggression, and inner hostility. They view it as unpleasant, undignified, and even as a moral failure or spiritual setback. They do not realize that repressed anger is nonetheless the energy of anger, and if not acknowledged and worked through, it will have deleterious consequences. Somebody look that up. Deleterious, new word of the day. Deleterious consequences to their health and overall progress. The intention behind anger is negative, and it will have similar consequences even if it is not expressed. A helpful approach is to view the energy of anger positively and to use it to fire up our ambitions and our actions in a useful way. For instance, let's say that we are angry at our boss. We feel resentful. He never seems to acknowledge our abilities or efforts, but we know it's unwise to express anger and resentment. It would very likely result in the loss of our job, or at least bring on the continued resentment of the boss. At best, the expression of anger would result in a tacky situation. Instead, we can make a decision to use that energy in a constructive way in our own behalf. It can be the inspiration for us to create a project that, because of its excellence, proves our point. It might be the energy for us to move up and out of a situation that is unsatisfactory. We can utilize that energy to create new job opportunities or find a better job, form a committee, improve our employment situation, start a union, or whatever we think would benefit our personal goals. In personal relationships, the same opportunity exists. The anger can be utilized to inspire us to improve our communication skills, take a course on interpersonal relationships, or enroll in a self-improvement program. The anger can inspire us to rededication, to put forth greater clarity of effort, and to actually do a better job. In this way, the situation can result in recommitment. It can inspire us to look within ourselves and relinquish all the negative feelings via acceptance. Instead of being mad about it, we can accept it. So there's a lot to unpack there. But what I heard, when I read this passage and I was thinking about in the beginning, a lot of times we can repress our anger. We can act as if we can just put it to the side, but it's still boiling in us. It's still bothering us. It's still something that if it doesn't go addressed can negatively impact us. So I don't think that's the solution. I don't think the solution when it comes to anger is just like, let's just not talk about it, won't address it, and I can just somehow just hide this energy and expect it to not come to fruition in certain areas of my life. Not going to be the way to go. But what we can do is use it to either improve our situation or to move to a new situation. All right. So they gave examples with dealing with the boss. Perfectly understandable. We all have had, I'm sure, managers or bosses where it's just like, oh, this coaches, this guy just got something against me. I don't know what it is. And now I'm getting angry. And now I'm allowing it to impact my play. So I've had certain situations where I'm like, yo, this coach is just an asshole. I can't stand him. All these different things. And what did it do? I got angry and I didn't play as well. And now the coach was justified in saying some of the things or getting on, being on me in certain ways. See, y'all with this pause stuff, man. Stop with this pause stuff. I got it all in my head. Another one. But yeah, so pretty much don't allow somebody to trick you out of your situation. Be smart, be logical, think about it, use the anger, use that chip on your shoulder to improve your situation in a logical way rather than to just become exactly what the criticisms are or play into what your manager, your boss, or your coach is doing. Don't make them look good, create your situation. Create your situation. Don't prove them right, prove them wrong, and do it in this way that you're also elevating your game and improving your opportunities. So that would be my response to it. Hold on. Lana said, LOL, weather is good enough, but counting down the days to Miami. I can't wait until y'all get down here and we start to build. And open invite. Open invite. My boy reached out to me. Matter of fact, he sent me a message. I want to, what is Threads? Keep getting these alerts for Threads. Let me share with y'all real quick with my boy. He reached out. Hold on. Because I feel like it was just a lot of times, even with that post that we put up, people asking like, yo, what y'all doing down in Miami? What y'all got going on? So he sent me a message and he said, what you building? This is my boy Lee Poe. So my response was, he said, what you building? I said, a community with a godly culture of love, bro. Healthy, loving, and purposeful. Open invite. If you are interested in helping to build, right? Build is the key word there. If you are interested in helping to build a community with a godly culture of love, healthy, loving, and purposeful. If that sounds like something that you would want to commit to, then you should holler at us. You should holler at us because this is, I promise you, and I really mean it, not to toot our own horns, but this is going to be something that is extremely different, that really shifts culture, and that is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us. I'm not saying it's an once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for you because you get to work with us. No, I'm saying it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for us and everybody that contributes to it, because in a world right now where there's so much hatred, distraction, manipulation, everything that wants to disconnect us rather than bring us together. This is going to be a culture in this community that is healing. I think that may be the right word. It's healing from society. When people come in, we want them to feel like, oh my God, this is an oasis. I feel healed, rather than when I'm out in the world and society and I feel like I gotta be on guard all the time. So this is what we're building. This is what we're building. It's not a community built on race. It's not a community built on gender. It's not a community built on sexual preference. It's not a community built on anything other than what I just described in those words, as far as our principles, values, and morals. That's it. A godly community just built on love, man. That's what we're looking for. Love and peace. Connecting with one another, appreciating each other, really appreciating the differences in each other's cultures, everything that we bring to the table. So it's an exciting time for us, And like I said, it's an open invite for anybody interested in really shifting culture in this entire society. So with that said, surname, nice weather, the sun is shining. All right, Lucille said the sun is shining over there. Lucille wrote, if we're a leader, we make leaders, not followers. I agree. And what I also will say is, we need followers. We need followers that are free thinkers. And a lot of times we can get caught up, and I think we're saying the same thing, Lucille, but a lot of times we can get caught up in saying like, yo, everybody needs to own their own business. Everybody needs to have that. Yo, there's important roles for people that do follow the mission. I've been on certain teams where when everybody's trying to be a leader or everybody's trying to be the leader, it can present problems. Amazing leaders can turn other leaders. Well, now I think what Lucille's referring to is more like a free thinker that doesn't just, I don't base how I think based on how other people think. I think freely, and with my freedom, I'm choosing to follow and play this role to the best ability. I've been on teams where, sometimes I may be one of the leaders. Other times I'll just embrace the position, whatever role I play, and I'm just going to rock out to the fullest. Now, you can say that I'm a leader within that position. You can say all these different things, but I think that an important quality is learning how to follow. I think a lot of times we just focus on being in the front as a leader rather than understanding that all leaders need to be able to follow and be very good at following. And I don't think that we develop skills in following. We develop skills in being, we naturally in this society are manipulated and controlled in certain ways to where we're more sheepish with our following. But, a pack of wolves, they follow that lead dog too. You know what I mean? What is it? I don't know what a group of lions, a herd, I don't know, whatever. But a group of lions, they follow that lead. Now, there may be some other leaders within that group, but it doesn't always have to be from a sheepish mentality. I think that we need to understand how to follow, and that can play a role just as important as how to lead. Lucille wrote, the followers become leaders. Definitely. And think about it like this. We were actually talking about it yesterday with a lot of the young generation, because it's so easy to access successful people, and successful people, there's a lot of them on YouTube, where it's like you see a kid watch a Grant Cardone video for a half an hour and nope, I'm 20 years old. I don't need to, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I figured out life. I don't need to follow anybody. I watched Grant Cardone for, a couple days, and now I'm ready to go. We see a lot of that. So it's always going to be a balancing act. And hopefully that what I've seen as far as producing the greatest results, and a lot of this is on sports, and I should say it's professionally as well. But when you have a group of people that can be leaders or that would be considered leaders, in my opinion, committing to a cause. So maybe we want committers. Maybe followers is a word that has a negative connotation, but maybe we need committers. Because when you get a group of leaders that are committed to the cause that may be led by one person more than the others, I think that can present a very positive situation that gives us the best opportunity to accomplish whatever goal it is that we're looking for. So, but that's great. I'm glad that you brought that up, Lucille. I think that that's super interesting, super dope. All right, let me, what are we going to start with? What are we going to start with? Do we want to start with, where are we going to start? Let's start in the WNBA, man. It's Hot Topic Friday. I was going to try to be a little easy with y'all, but we're going to start in the WNBA. Let me see if I can bring this video up for y'all. One second. Hold on. We're going to start in the WNBA, and this is a story from 7 years ago. A story from 7 years ago with a lady by the name of Candace Wiggins. I want y'all to take a look at this, and I'm going to give my feedback afterwards, but I want y'all to take a look at this. And I actually have a couple videos that I'm not even sure how I feel about them. This, I don't think is one of them, but, you know, and it may end up being one of them. But there's definitely like Shannon Sharpe and Amanda Seales that I'm kind of back and forth on. But let me share. Maybe y'all could help me. Y'all could help walk me through it. But let me share this with y'all.
Toxic and harmful. Candace Wiggins says that's how things were for her in the WNBA because she is a straight woman. Wiggins' name should sound familiar to all of you. She did play for the Minnesota Lynx. What Wiggins said about the WNBA is beyond me. It's shocking. And it literally came out of nowhere to me, as she isn't even playing in the league anymore.
While the league remains silent, Wiggins is...
I got to stop it right there. Why am I stopping it right there? Okay. We have to pay attention, and we were talking about it on the other show. Hold on, let me turn this down. A little loud for me in my ear. We have to pay attention to how these news stations present information. We have to pay attention to how people present information. Is there bias being injected? So I just want to play the last, let's go back. And I want y'all to just listen to her, how she presents it. And then maybe I'm going to observe it. I observe things. So I'm always going to look at little details, intricate details, or it'd be like, bro, you doing too much. Maybe. Is this about to be prejudice? Okay, let me say, I would not be surprised if she was if she was lesbian or gay. I would not be surprised. So you guys have no idea what I'm talking about with the story, but just keep that in mind. And I probably should have waited until it's,
Wiggins' name should sound familiar to all of you. She did play for the Minnesota Lynx. What Wiggins said about the WNBA is beyond me. It's shocking. And
she said it's beyond her and shocking. Just let's keep going.
Literally came out of nowhere to me, as she isn't even playing in the league anymore.
While the league remains silent, Wiggins is doubling down on her statements, but getting plenty of backlash from other players. This week, former Lynx player Candace Wiggins took a shot. This one not aimed at the hoop, but the whole league. In a candid interview with the San Diego Union Tribune, Wiggins, who retired last March after 8 seasons in the WNBA, said she was bullied throughout her career, essentially for being straight. Quote, I would say 98% of the women in the WNBA are gay women. It was a conformist type of place. There was a whole different set of rules they could apply, end quote. She goes on to say, quote, people were deliberately trying to hurt me all the time. I had never been called the B word so many.
All right, real quick. I want to just focus on what she started off. It's shocking. She said that this is shocking. Is maybe 7 years ago, this was a shock for a lot of people. Am I living in a different world, a different reality to where to where I don't know, like, am I a prophet to just know that the WNBA, that there's a lot of gay women, lesbians? Like, I'm being sarcastic because I thought that was just kind of common knowledge. I saw it in high school. Like I said, I've mentioned that before. I saw it in college. I'm not sure why people are so surprised that a lot of the women and a lot of the culture within the WNBA is LGBTQ. Just is what it is. Like, have you seen a lot of the players are open about this. So I'm just kind of confused as to why she would be shocked that this is a story.
Times in my life than I was in my rookie season. I'd never been thrown to the ground so much. The message was that I was trying to hurt me all the time. I had never been called the B word so many times in my life than I was in my rookie season. I'd never been thrown to the ground so much. The message was, we want you to know we don't like you, end quote. And by rookie season, she means the Lynx. We reached out to the Lynx, no comment. WNBA, no comment. So the narrative gets rolled over to social media, where several current and former players are speaking out. Misty Bates said that wasn't her experience. Imani Boyette wondering why Wiggins is shaming the whole league. Devereaux Peters also refuting the claims.
Hold on. Are we not validating my experience? Like, isn't this the opposite of what we see happening right now? Where imagine somebody coming out, either a woman or a black person or or LGBTQ. You know, we always look at LGBTQ, Black Lives Matter, women's movement. Imagine a woman coming out and explaining her situation and a experience that she had. And then a whole bunch of other women pretty much trying to not validate it by giving their experiences. Shouldn't we just pay attention to the experience of the person that's complaining? Y'all notice how there's like two different sides to this? Because imagine somebody coming out in the LGBTQ community and talking about their experience of how they had, they were treated unfairly, all these different things that they may have experienced. Imagine me coming out and saying, yeah, that wasn't my experience. People would say, are you trying to, why are you not validating their person? Like, why are you trying to put your experience to make it seem like that person's experience is not valid and all this other stuff? You see where we're going here? I say it all the time. It's so funny how we will complain about getting bullied by a particular group, but then use those same bullying tactics that we're complaining about to push and use and leverage for our own interest towards other groups. Let's keep going.
Misty Bates said that wasn't her experience. Imani Boyette wondering why Wiggins is shaming the whole league. Devereaux Peters also refuting the claims.
Hold on, we got to go back to that one. Imani Boyette, sorry to hear about her experience, but what do we always say about apologies? Whenever you start off the sorry, and then you use that but word right after, what does it do? So sorry to hear about her experience, but let's not categorize an entire league by one person's reality. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I understand that this is 7 years ago, but in 2024, isn't that what we create movements off of? One person's experience? Or how about this? A minority experience? So if we have a situation where that's just 1% of the league going through that. Let's not say the whole league is racist because that's just one person. You get where I'm going at? The energy is not consistent across the board. And I don't care what side of this you're on. I'm more so presenting it in a way where just to pay attention to the media, pay attention to these movements that we get caught up in. Pay attention to how on one end, if it doesn't fit their agenda, they'll say something like, let's not categorize an entire league off one person's reality. Isn't that what we do with America? When we run around and we describe America as being terrible because of, let's say, a small percentage of the people's reality? Wouldn't that be wrong? So then why is that the case here? Why is it the case here where literally you have other women coming out saying, sorry to hear about her experience, but let's not categorize an entire league by one person's reality? You just ished on her entire statement. You ished on what she's looking to prove. Imagine somebody coming out saying that they were mistreated and they were sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein, and then a bunch of group of women coming out saying, oh, that wasn't my experience. That wasn't my experience. Obviously, that's going to make people look at this lady who's talking about her experience being violated in a different way. It's going to make us maybe consider, maybe she made this up. We know what this is, what they're trying to do. I'm just calling it out because it's so funny how when it happens on one side, it would be presented in one way that fits their argument and fits their agenda. But when it's from a different perspective, it's, well, we can't categorize an entire league just based off one person's experience. All right, keep that same energy.
The whole league. Devereaux Peters also refuting the claims.
In the time I've covered the league, no one has ever told me that, on or off the record, that they felt like they were bullied in the league for any reason.
ESPNW reporter Michelle Vopels covered the WNBA since it started. She's not saying Wiggins' claims aren't true, but she is saying they are bold statements that lack context.
I called her and, wanted to get her response, to those statements. And she said she didn't want to talk about it anymore. She didn't understand why the comments were getting a lot of attention, and that she just wanted peace and privacy. To say those kind of things that are that inflammatory about an entire organization, and then, literally the same day that interview comes out, say that you don't really want to talk about it, I find that a bit disingenuous, frankly.
Wiggins responded again in the union.
Wow. I don't know. Maybe people should not talk about their experience in America if it's bad, if the majority of other people don't have that experience. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? And once again, I'm just using this as an example. Using this as an example as to why we need to be objective, as to why we just can't be fanatics and express idolatry, where if I like this person, I'm always going to justify what they do. We can complain about one situation, and that's why I brought up the Drake and Kendrick thing. With idolatry comes, oh, if I like the WNBA, then I'll look at it like this. How a lot of these WNBA players and supporters of the WNBA are coming out and saying like, yo, we don't know what she's talking about. But then when it comes to a different situation, are we supposed to just be dismissive of something if it just happens to, just a couple people? The energy is not the same. So what happens is when we go through life and we just idolize certain things and we just are fanatics about this and we say, I belong to the Democratic Party. I belong to the Crips. I belong to Christianity. I belong to this group. Whenever we categorize ourselves in one category, we develop a certain amount of pride for that in a lot of situations. And that pride prevents us in a lot of times, I'm not saying everybody, that pride prevents us from being able to look at situations objectively. Objectively. It just is what it is. It is what it is. And we see it all the time. I'm watching the show Shogun right now. And the Christians were going to war. I believe it was the Protestants versus the Catholics, something like that. Ireland. I got to get the exact name. But you see it all the time. It's like, damn, you take so much pride in your religion. You take so much pride in your particular agenda, in your group. You take so much pride in your race. You take so much pride in these things that it prevents you from being objective and looking at it from somebody else's perspective, to the point where you may be doing the very same things that you complain about somebody doing to you, but now you're doing it to other groups. And you're doing it in a way that violates the very rules that you're supposed to live by based on that particular group, that religion, or organization. So you violate your own standards to do something to another group just because you take so much pride in your group. That's what we're seeing across the world. That's what we're seeing across the world. That's why, in my opinion, let me put this down for a second. That's why, in my opinion, it's silly to be a part of, to be so fanatical with these political parties, to be so fanatical with, I almost be fanatical with your football team or your basketball team or your soccer team. It is what it is. It doesn't matter. Doesn't mean anything. It's not going to adjust the world in any way. Be fanatical with it. But it makes zero sense to be fanatical with a lot of these things. And all it does is create war. It doesn't create peace. It creates separation. And we see it across the board. So we got to stop. We got to figure out a way to stop getting manipulated by this. Let me, say anything. Maybe watch another. Hold on. All right. So that's pretty much it on there. We don't need to. Hold on. Actually, I want to. Hold on. Let's play the rest of that. Hold on. I already deleted it. Hold on. All right.
There's 120 players employed by the WNBA. About a dozen of them have come out public veracity to the fact that
I'm not sorry for
we gotta hear
saying
this. We gotta
what
hear
needs
this.
to be said.
So there's no public veracity to the fact that what she says, 98% of the league is gay. There's 120 players employed by the WNBA. About a dozen of them have come out publicly, former and current players. So we don't know what the number is.
A dozen out of 120. He doesn't know what the numbers is. Out of touch.
Either way, I can't say what she said is wrong. It's her perspective and it's her experience. But a lot of people don't agree with it, and a lot of people say that they haven't experienced that. So I don't know. What do you think about this one?
You could tell when these men get up here and they don't just want to just say exactly their stance. So it ends up being that. And he may be very well, maybe that's the smartest thing to do. Like, yeah, I don't really, she said it, cool. It's just funny when, I don't know, when you don't have perspective.
I'm not going to talk about Candace's experience because Candace is the only person that can talk about that. But some of the things she said are extremely damaging and hurtful. The WNBA.
I'm not going to talk about Candace's experience. But some of the things that she said were, hold on. Can y'all, this is comical. Listen to this.
I'm not going to talk about Candace's experience because Candace is the only person that can talk about that. But some of the things she said are extremely damaging and hurtful.
Imagine somebody saying this about one of Trump's accusers or I don't know, anything. I'm not going to say anything about her experience, but what she said was damaging, and you're talking about her experience. Everybody's full of it. All these agendas that we think that we're fighting for and standing up for, and Black lives and LGBTQ and women's, all this, it's all BS. It's all BS. There's somebody in the background making a lot of money off of manipulating you and dangling that carrot of victimhood in front of your face. That's all that this stuff is. And you can see when the points are, you can tell when it's not genuine, when literally the same things that people will complain about or use in one situation, they're against it in another.
The WNBA has worked hard to make itself a legitimate and respected franchise in professional sports. For her to say nobody cares about the WNBA, that is basically lighting the pitchforks for the people that throw away women's sports as sports that don't matter. So that one hurts a lot. And just so you know, Ms. Wiggins, last year, 20,000 fans came to Game 5 for the Minnesota Lynx. That's up. Actually, 2 years in a row, 20,000 fans at Game 5. In 2016, it was the most watched WNBA finals in history. Viewership has gone up for the last 3 seasons. So do not say something as damaging as no one cares about the WNBA, because once upon a time, it was a league you helped build.
I have no idea what she's talking about. Like, I'm just going to leave that there. I'm just going to leave that there for y'all to examine on y'all own, because it's so funny how if somebody came out and said and had this energy towards, and that's privilege right there. What y'all just experienced was privilege. She just used her I'm not even going to say as a white woman. I'm talking about her gay privilege. Because you can't say anything better. You can't say anything, right? You said the haircut was a giveaway. She's pissed. It's like everything that you're saying, bro, is like the same way that people complain. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Can I just stop explaining it because y'all understand what I'm saying? It's all, people are just lying, bro. People just lie. People just get on these different stances and whatever suits their narrative at the time, that's what they'll push. All right, we're not going to spend too much more time on that. All right, so let's stick with the WNBA. Hold on, I want to show y'all this. I don't think I had it. Let's actually do this. Let's show this on the stream. I want to Google something with y'all. And it's regarding the outrage that a lot of people are feeling. What I just think is just straight hate towards Caitlin Clark. Hold on. Caitlin Clark experiences backlash about Nike shoe deal. Let's see what comes up. And if not, I'm just going to show y'all the, hold on. Let me just go on my chat. Because I really want to show y'all this because, and I wasn't even thinking about it until we just had this conversation. But that's what happens, you know, stuff comes up. Hold on. Is this it right here? Okay. Let me bring this on the computer. All right, I think I got it. All right, let me just share this with y'all. Get rid of this. Let me share with y'all some of this hate that I be seeing. You got to call out the hate window. All right, here we go. Let me know if y'all can see that. All right, so apparently, and we're going to go through this. So this says, let me get rid of the comment for a sec. So this is on Gil's Arena. So this is actually an older conversation. So these are two different conversations. And oh wait, actually, hold on. There's a link for the video. Hold on. Y'all can read that right now real quick. But I don't know if I got the link. Hold on. I hope I got this link. I don't think that anybody sent me the link. I think that hold on. We got to look for this. Hold on. We got to look for this. YouTube, because I'd almost rather see the video. But y'all read that in the meantime. Hold on. Gil's Arena, Caitlin Clark shoe deal. Do I want to play that? Oh, wait, hold on. We got it. And I haven't seen this video. I have not seen this video, but okay. So the overall thing is there's a lot of people that are upset. This is going to be a business. This may be a business lesson for us all. But it's going to be more of calling BS out. So people are upset that Caitlin Clark got a shoe deal. Now, as you can see on the side, the quote is, "I'm so happy that Caitlin Clark is getting a signature shoe, but I'm also genuinely confused as to how someone with the below accolades still doesn't have a signature shoe and is instead forced to do collaborations with existing models to boost their relevance." People act as if they don't know why Caitlin Clark got a shoe deal. She's the biggest thing. She's the biggest woman in sports right now, demanding that type of attention. So what will people do? They don't understand that how somebody, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of a guy like LeBron James. When LeBron James came out of high school, hold on, let's relate it to somebody that we all know. LeBron James. When he came out of high school, I believe they already wanted to give him a shoe deal when he was in high school. Before he played his first NBA game, before he had any NBA stat, he had these ridiculous endorsements. should somebody have said, well, I don't understand why LeBron's getting all of this, but this other player who has, great accolades, whatever, it's because it's LeBron. People are interested in looking at him. If you bring eyes to an audience, then people are going to pay you in order to brand their product. It's very simple. So somebody can have all these accolades in, let's say years ago, whatever, however long ago it is. But that does not mean, because they always try to throw the race stuff in there. That's what it's really about. That does not mean that that's racist. That does not mean that that's racist. There's plenty of players that played in the NFL years ago that had amazing careers, but because the NFL was not making money, because they didn't have as many eyes on it, then they may have better achievements than Odell Beckham. But guess what, people? People are going to pay Odell Beckham because a lot of people are interested in Odell Beckham. It just is what it is. That's just business. So it's, in my opinion, it's a shame what's going on, all the hate that she's receiving, but it is what it is. Let's take a look at this. Hold on. Let me share this. Let's look at these professional basketball players' perspective. Let's see what
that Clark agreed to an endorsement deal with Nike. So the deal is reportedly in the 8 figures, and Clark will also get her own signature shoe.
So she got $10 million?
So I wanted her to take $5 million.
So she got $10 million?
To go play in the big, shut the fuck up.
What I want to know is this. This is just wishful thinking, or this would have been advanced thinking. If they already knew she was coming out, wouldn't they have been negotiating with her way before?
Do you think that wasn't happening?
Sure, they have.
Because the day she got drafted, I would have already had a signature shoe ready to be produced. Let's sell it. Let's move. Let's go right now.
Yeah,
as soon as she got drafted #1, the next press conference, this is my signature shoe in stores now, right there in real time.
So after the deal was announced,
that's the shit that irritates me. It's like, how are you a business not capitalizing real time?
Because if it was LeBron, the shoe would have been.
Is that what happened with Bron?
Nope. I would have learned.
Is that what happened with any of them?
No.
All right. So what are we talking about?
No. What I'm talking about is they
I
failed.
don't get it.
They
How failed. How is it a failure?
Because
That has never happened before.
I see what he's saying.
There's a reason. If it never happened before, you can be the first one to do it in real time.
Okay, but why does it make us a failure though?
I didn't
get drafted.
You said it. It's a fail.
It's a fail on capitalizing in real time.
How?
Because it's right there.
They can build it up.
If there was a shoe to be bought yesterday.
Yeah, what's funny is they're arguing about something totally different, but I don't even want to get into it. Hold on. I want to get to the actual.
In less than 45 minutes after news broke of Clark's deal, Asia posted the following tweet. So Psalm 37:7, for those who aren't biblically knowledgeable, I'll read it for you. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret when people succeed in their ways, when they carry out their wicked schemes. So how ridiculous is it that the best WNBA player does not have a signature shoe? Right?
Yeah. Asia should absolutely have a shoe. But that doesn't mean Caitlyn shouldn't have a shoe.
And that's not what we're saying.
They should both have a shoe.
It was
ridiculous that Caitlyn has a shoe.
Oh, that's not the
but before people spin my fucking words like they've been doing, Caitlyn should absolutely have a shoe. It's amazing. Asia Wilson should also have a shoe. She's the best player in the league, most accomplished, decorated, Olympian, 2-time WNBA champ, national champion. Like, what are we doing? Like,
I think with Nike, is she getting a Nike shoe, Asia?
She's got
I think what Nike wanted to do is, I think what they want to see is.
Hold on, and Maya wrote. I'm glad that you wrote that, Maya. So Maya wrote, Gilbert is right. So that's going back a little bit. So in their exchange, I wasn't even going to comment on it. I think Gilbert is right as well. And I think that she actually just didn't understand what Gilbert was trying to say. You heard her saying like, oh, it's not a fail for us. Like, it's not a fail. She's looking at it from a different perspective because she has, you know how you can be so defensive about something? You can be so defensive about something to where it's like, I'm not even listening to what this other person says. What Gilbert is saying is that shoe should have already been out. They could have already capitalized right now on it, whether it's LeBron or anybody else. Even if that wasn't done in the past, that they could still capitalize on it. That's what I'm hearing Gilbert saying. Like it should have already been done. We should have already had the rollout, had this thing. As soon as she signed for the Indiana Fever, they could have announced her shoe. That's what he's saying. She's saying like it's still not a fail. So that's why I said that's not what I was showing the video for, but I'm glad that you peeped it. And you can tell when somebody's just so defensive over something that they're not even hearing what the other person is saying. And Shy wrote, facts, I don't watch and I know who she is. I don't know who A'ja Wilson is. She just said that she's the best player in the WNBA. You know what sucks, yo? And I guess this is the only time that, or the best time for it to be said. But as soon as somebody receives an achievement, it's the time now where somebody else, like, did you hear the scripture that do we need to listen to the scripture again? That's the time for somebody else to now say like, oh, well, I should get one too. Bro, you can start your campaign pushing for a shoe deal. You've been the best player in the WNBA. Push your shoe deal. But it's like now we're going to create the dynamic in our minds to where, well, Caitlin Clark got a shoe deal. Why don't she got a shoe deal? Rather than just celebrating the fact that, yo, she got a shoe deal. Hold on. I hadn't heard of A'ja before this, unfortunately. From a business perspective, Caitlin is worth the investment. She will make the money back quickly. That's the point. It is not necessarily about who is best. It's about who is going to sell shoes. Period. People do. That's why I said this is going to be a business lesson in the beginning. You want to know why? Hold on. Let me make a little, let me take it there. You want to know why Caitlin is signed by Nike and why A'ja Wilson may not have a shoe deal? Let me take your comment down because I don't want you to be a part of this. You feel me? Let me make my, hold on. You want to know why? It's the same reason why Planned Parenthood gave Meg Thee Stallion the Catalyst of Change Award. We talked about that on Wednesday, right? Or was that Monday? I don't know. The same reason why Caitlin Clark has a shoe deal is no different than why Meg Thee Stallion was given an award by Planned Parenthood as the Catalyst of Change. Why? Because they want to sell their particular product, and that person and the influence that they have on their target market is going to allow Planned Parenthood to sell their product. What is Planned Parenthood's product? Abortions. Who gets the most amount of abortions? Women between 15 and 30? Who is Meg Thee Stallion's audience? Women between the age of 15 and 30? It's all business. So now let's look at Caitlin Clark. We don't know who A'ja Wilson is. So nobody's going to buy her shoe. It just is what it is. Y'all have to figure out. What bothers me is like, I don't understand how it seems like the WNBA seems like it's all of our problems as to why their product is not marketed. And I feel y'all. You want to know why I feel y'all? I feel the WNBA. They're upset. They're saying, yo, all of y'all need to start watching us, and it's y'all problem. It's y'all responsibility. It's not ours. And I feel her. I feel her. Because even though we got 5,000 people in the building right now, I literally go through the day and I'm like, yo, all y'all need to be following me. I don't understand why there's not a billion people listening to what I'm saying, having these conversations. Like nobody's delivering it how I'm delivering it. Nobody's honest, having these real conversations. Nobody's giving these perspectives. Nobody's being real. Nobody's comfortable being real. Before they got the big bag of money, all this stuff. You feel me? So I feel the WNBA. Now, I'm being a little facetious because, no, that's on me. If I want more people to hear my message, then I need to do a better job of marketing my product, period. If I sit back at home and just constantly complain without doing stuff, I'm not doing this show anymore. They should want to listen to me. Do better. Market better. Get your word out there better. Be more creative. It is what it is. So if nobody's ever heard of you, then you need to put pressure on the WNBA to do better marketing. Instead of out here just complaining about, oh, well, women aren't getting paid the same amount. Yeah, because nobody's watching it. It's all business. Imagine, and it's easy for the workers to have this type of energy because they've never had a boss mindset. They've never controlled the company. All they've done is receive checks from the company. Where do we think that checks come from? I had to have this same conversation. I'm not going to get into that. Where do we think that checks come from? If the business is not making any money, then how do I pay you? I pay you based on this is why I love commission-based and sales roles. Look, this is the product that you're selling. For every product that you sell, you get this percentage. Very clear. You sell more products, you get more money. It forces you to understand how business really works. Oh, well, she's the best player. She got all the accolades. Accolades don't put food on the table. Bro, you got to market yourself. You got to market yourself. We see it in every single sport, boxing, every single sport across the board. The people that are marketed the best, the people that we know about the best, do we think that Kim Kardashian is the most amazing person in the world? No, but she's one of the most influential, and we see it based on the money that she makes. Imagine somebody saying, Rihanna can't even sing as well as Jennifer Hudson. Why should it is what it is. It's just business. Let me get back to this. Are we done with this? Hold on. I want to see what they say. Like I said, I haven't seen the rest of this. So
Because her game is already there. Because she sell. Because that's what it's about. It's not really about.
That's it.
About your game like that. It's about can you sell.
Can't move the needle.
They had Nike wanted to see could she do it, and now they starting to see like A'ja can push product. Like they've been monitoring her numbers, her analysis, and they seeing like, oh, she can sell. Yeah. So we trust it. Because at first they didn't trust it. I'm just being
best-selling New York Times author.
Like that. She's been like that since high school, college. Like she been like that. But they wanted to see could she sell. And with Caitlyn,
obviously,
it's showing like, hey, females can sell. And she's a big, she's considered like a post player. It's always question, can a post player sell versus a guard?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think.
And that's not saying one should have one and one shouldn't.
They should both have one.
They need to just focus on getting Juju one.
Get that ready.
That's what they need to focus on.
She might need to get one.
That's what they need
to your point,
focus on now.
You think Juju should get a shoe while she's still in college?
I don't know nothing about marketing, dog. So I don't.
Okay, well. So let's keep it moving.
Using college would be easy.
So hey, yo, stop being petty, bro. All right, so let's get to this. All right, I want to get to this. This is because we're gonna wrap up soon. We're not staying on here long. I want to show y'all this. I watched this Tucker Carlson interview with Joe Rogan. You got to watch the people that are the best in the area that you're looking to compete in. I watched this interview, or I'm about halfway through, and very interesting conversation. And I actually, hold on, I took a screenshot of what point in it I wanted to focus on. But a very interesting conversation, things that we've actually talked about. So 35, 23. Oof. All right, let's start off here. Let me share this with y'all. Oh, y'all was already up. My bad. All right, let's take a listen.
Yes, you could. And you could say that we have to develop it like Oppenheimer felt before the Nazis.
Hold on. So they're talking about the nuclear weapons.
For people, that's all we should care about. Is it good for people or not? If it's bad for people, then we should strangle it in its crib right now.
Right.
And I want to challenge y'all something. Think about how when I say Tucker Carlson, what comes to mind? Just, you don't have to say it, you don't have to type it in the group, but just think about it in your mind. We're going to do a mental exercise. You tell me, or don't tell me. Tell yourself what you think about. What are the first things that come to mind when you think about Tucker Carlson?
And one is blow up the data centers. Like, why is that hard? If it's actually going to become what you just described, which is a threat to people, humanity, life, then we have a...
And hold on. Y'all know I got to acknowledge the chat. My boy Queez is in the building. Before we move on to the next topic, Queez wrote, in this day and age, it's about being polarizing, not necessarily the most talented. It is 100%. And you want to know why? Hold on, please. My bad. We don't reward. We don't reward certain things. We don't reward certain things on principles, morals, and values, and things being righteous in a way where you got to earn this. There's so much entitlement, so much victimhood. Oh, I just inherently should deserve this. A lot of this stuff is connected. And y'all tell me if I'm reaching. I may be reaching. But a lot of this stuff is connected. When you have a society that's just built on making moments, things being polarized, and you're not rewarding the right behavior, this is what it allows. It allows us to just everything fast, right? And let me actually develop my thinking in this a little bit. But when I see a culture that does not reward things based on principles, morals, and values, and instead rewards things based on other things, to me, that's a slippery slope. Like, I don't think it's direct. Well, now, I don't want to reach and make a direct connection. Let me think about it a little bit more. But I just see a society in general that we are so comfortable rewarding the wrong things that it shifts our perspective and how we see things and what we perceive as cool and what we're attracted to and what we're influenced by. And we only notice it in certain areas, let's say like this, where it's like, well, how does A'ja Wilson, we've never even heard of her, and she's the best player in the WNBA. And Caitlin Clark has a shoe deal. Well, maybe if we had a different type of thinking, maybe if we had different value system, maybe if we honored and appreciated things differently, then we would know about an A'ja. I don't know. Let me just move on. My fault. Y'all know I give y'all my thoughts in real time. Sometimes the dots don't always connect, but I'll be back for y'all. All right, so let's focus on this real quick. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm not showing it. Oh, my God. Why didn't y'all tell me? Hold on. My bad. I got it. My bad. Hold on. I didn't realize. Oh, I don't know if y'all heard it. Hold on. Let me go back. I thought that y'all could hear it that whole time. My fault. I didn't realize it wasn't sharing. My bad. You always wanted all in the video. I wanted to be all in the video and ended up not even playing. All right,
actually going to become what you just described, which is a threat to people, humanity, life, then we have a moral obligation to murder it immediately. And since it's not alive, we don't need to feel bad about that.
Well, you could say the same about the atomic bomb, right?
Yes, you could.
And you could say that we have to develop it like Oppenheimer felt before the Nazis did.
I love that. How'd that work? How'd that work?
Well,
I love, by the way, that people on my side, I'll just admit it, on the right, have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, well, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings. Like, no, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil. Like, it's not a tough one, right? It's not a hard call for you. It's not a hard call for me. So with that in mind, like, why would you want nuclear weapons? It's like just a mindless, childish sort of intellectual exercise to justify, like, oh no, it's really good because someone else will get it. How about no? How about like spending all of your effort to prevent this from happening? Would you kill baby Hitler, famously?
Right.
From happening. Would you kill baby Hitler, famously?
Right.
Yo, I don't know. Hold on. How do I? Y'all got me little, man. All right, there we go. I actually like, okay. I'm digging this. All right. I don't know. Like, did y'all hear what he just said? Now, think about how you probably thought about Tucker Carlson. So I asked y'all before that clip what your thoughts are when you just hear Tucker Carlson. And this is why we have to be objective. And this is why we can't allow our bias or Tucker Carlson. Well, when he was at Fox, he did this. Yeah. Okay. If we evaluated everybody based on a certain mistake that you believe that they made, if we evaluated ourselves on certain mistakes that we made, where would we be? You know what I value? I value when people are telling their not even their truths. People are being honest and genuine. We can argue about truth. Your truth may be different than my truth. Our facts, whatever. I just somebody's facts may be off, whatever. But you can tell when somebody's being genuine. And what do I mean by that? We talked about Kanye West. Kanye West, I think it's corny what he's doing right now with Drake. I think a lot of the stuff that Kanye does is corny. I've disagreed with him plenty of times in the past. But one thing that I will say is that Kanye is speaking Kanye's mind. He's letting us know exactly how he feels, whether we like it or not. He's giving us the ability to judge him on exactly how he feels. Perfectly fine. When we have a guy like Tucker Carlson who just said what he just said, I've never heard any politician say anything like what he just said. Just from a simple standpoint, you want to know why politicians won't say that? Is because it doesn't align with their agenda. It doesn't align with how they have to vote in order to make sure that they're in a powerful position. Tucker Carlson just said that why should anybody have nuclear bombs? To try to justify the or give reasoning behind, well, we had to drop this atomic bomb because if they didn't, do we understand how insane that is? Think about that. I'm going to play what he just said again, because I think that, and you tell me, does your bias allow you to appreciate what he just said? Because what he just said is more godly based on the rules and the guidelines and the commandments that I hear that a lot of y'all follow in y'all religions. He just spoke on something that's more godly than I've heard any of these politicians speaking on. Any of these, and he even called out, he acknowledges himself as a conservative. He called out the conservative side in saying, like, how could you justify any of this stuff? That's what I appreciate. That's what I appreciate. Let's listen to what he just said again, because I think I don't know. I know we like the Cat Williams moments with Shannon Sharp and all that other stuff, but to be completely honest, it doesn't hold any weight to what he just said, to this type of interview. Cat Williams is more entertaining. We're going to call out truth. They have similar energy, I would say. But Cat Williams, what we focused on was more so him calling out individuals. You get what I'm saying? This is the type of controversial thing that can come from a guy like Tucker when you're free from being a part of Fox, when you're free from being a part of any of these mainstream networks that are looking to control and push a narrative. So they want to control what you say so they can manipulate and the public with their biases. Listen to what he just said. Something as simple as we grow up in a world where we think it's okay to drop bombs on people if that means protecting our people. That is insane.
Happening. Would you kill people?
Hold on.
If you find a thing, admit it. On the right, that
we're going to listen
about the atomic bomb.
And since it's not alive, we don't need to feel bad about that.
Well, you could say the same about the atomic bomb, right?
Yes, you could.
And you could say that we have to develop it like Oppenheimer felt before the Nazis did.
I love that. How'd that work? How'd that work? Well, I love, by the way, that people on my side, I'll just admit it, on the right, have spent the last 80 years defending dropping nuclear weapons on civilians. Like, are you joking?
Right.
That's just like prima facie evil.
Yeah.
If you can't, if we hadn't done that, then this, that, the other thing, that was actually a great savings life. No, it's wrong to drop nuclear weapons on people. And if you find yourself arguing that it's a good thing to drop nuclear weapons on people, then you are evil. Like it's not a tough one, right? It's not a hard call for you. It's not a hard call for me. So with that in mind, like, why would you want nuclear weapons? It's like just a mindless, childish sort of intellectual exercise to justify, like, oh no, it's really good because someone else will get it. How about no? How about like spending all of your effort to prevent this from happening? Would you kill baby?
Now, everybody's going to, the people that justify it are probably sitting here saying, well, if other countries got it, then I want it. That's the same argument that you hear with like the guns and everything else. It's a conversation that I had to deeply consider living down in Florida. So Florida is a free carry state. Anybody can carry, concealed, unconcealed, doesn't matter. As long as you can buy a gun, you can carry it. So that means any interaction that you have, somebody can have a gun on them. You get into an altercation, road rage, whatever, somebody can have a gun on them. So for me and my thinking that I still go back and forth on it. Like I said, I'm not 100% on either side, especially based on how society has manipulated us into becoming such a hateful society and to have so much hate for each other. But think about it like this. And this is like, I went to the gun store and everything, and I just didn't get a gun. And maybe it was the gun store that I actually went to. When I went to the first gun store, they didn't have, they actually had moved location. So I went there and they were in a new location. They're telling me where to go to. And maybe this was some divine intervention. And I driven, back to, I think driven, by some other stores, but I just never went back. I never went back in. And my thinking was, if I'm about to buy a gun, I think it's a perfectly reasonable justification to say, well, if everybody else has it, I want to have it. I understand that completely. But based on our society, once we buy a gun especially, we do understand that energy changes. Ask anybody that has ever had a gun how it makes them feel when they walk around with it. Makes you walk with your chest out a little bit more, right? Most people. Maybe you're the unique individual that having it doesn't do anything. Okay. Look at all these cops. Makes you feel a little bit bigger, right? Like you got a couple more. Nah, I shouldn't even say that. I shouldn't even say it. Like them things is hanging a little lower, right? Let me say that. What it actually does is it puts out an energy that invites a certain energy back. We say it all the time, right? We say, well, if you're dressed in a certain type of way, and if you're presenting yourself in a certain type of way, there's going to be certain energy that comes back your way. If you're walking down Ocean Ave in Miami and you're dressed real skimpy and you're trying to be super sexy, well, then you're going to have that call will be answered. That energy that you're putting out will definitely come back. Try it. It's no different than the guns. It's no different than the bombs. And that's why I said, you know what? My parents sleep here. Maya sleeps here. My brother, Fran, is here. I should have a gun. I should be, if something happens, if we get into it and somebody follows us, or if somebody just knocks on the door, or somebody tries to break in, I should be able to protect us. And in all actuality, I'm like, nah, that's just inviting the wrong energy. That's just inviting the wrong energy. And I've had a gun since probably I was like 22. And I just didn't want one down here. Just didn't want one down here because I'll tell you the first thing that I do when I get home in Jersey is let's say that I'm in Florida. The first thing I do when I walk in my apartment in Jersey is go check where my gun is and to make sure that it's still there, to make sure that nobody broke in the house and took the gun. Nobody took bullets out of it. The clip's still in there. Literally, I'm telling you what I do when I get home. What is my mind focused on? I'm inviting a negative energy. And it's no different with the bombs. We can always find reasons to justify getting a bigger weapon. And we see it with technology. As technology advances, what does technology do? It looks to control us, and it looks to build weapons in order to, quote unquote, protect us. Those are the two biggest things that technology does. It wants as much information as possible from us, so therefore it can manipulate and control us, and to create bigger weapons, so therefore we're a bigger threat and a bigger power to that other country over there. So now what is that other country doing? So now we're spending all of our time, effort, energy, money into investing into something to just build bigger guns than the next person. So now our minds are focusing on, okay, what are we building these guns for? What are they building these things for war? Now that enters the business aspect of it. Oh, well, there's also big business around guns. Okay, so we invested in all this guns and all this other stuff. Now we got to sell the product. How do we sell a product? We need wars. You see how all this energy, it just snowballs and it becomes a slippery slope. And it changes our mindset and how we see each other as a community. And we develop a certain level of hatred, and we are so comfortable with violence. We're so comfortable with violence, and we're seeing a lot of this right now. Whether it's Ukraine and Russia, whether it's in Gaza, Israel, Palestine. It's like we'll talk about people dying like we're checking our Bank of America account or checking our Robinhood account. Like, yo, what does it look like? Oh man, yo, we down today. It's 20,000 reported. They won't even say people. There's like 20,000 casualties or whatever. What's a casualty? No, 20,000 brothers, sisters, mothers, daughters, fathers, uncles. That's who was killed. That's whose lives were ended. We care so much, right? Pro-life, pro-choice, all this stuff. But we have no issue dropping bombs on people. We have no issue. And war is so cowardly right now. You don't even got to actually fly the plane and drop the bomb. It's just drones. It's people sitting at computer desks going to war with drones. So there's not even that association with you actually having to be the one to take that life. I've never taken a life. But listening to interviews, talking to different people who may have done something like that, it clearly impacts people. So now when you take away that that numbness that, oh, well, it's just a drone. It's like playing a video game. War is now no different than somebody sitting at home, putting their headset on and talking shit to their homeboy or homegirl about, yo, what's your kill count? All this stuff is indoctrination. All of it numbs our minds, numbs our heart to seeing violence in the way that we should see it. Aren't these the commandments? Hold on, man. Let's bring up these commandments. Let's get biblical. Hold on. The 10 Commandments. Let's look up these 10 Commandments. Hold on. Let me share the screen real quick. One sec, Tucker. We'll be right back. Is this the screen? Hold on. I don't think this is the right screen I'm sharing. Give me a second. All right, 10 Commandments. Right. I need a new computer. All right, the 10 Commandments. Let's go over this. Can y'all see the screen? Yeah, y'all are good. All right. Got the list of the 10 Commandments. Come on, Lucille, we need you. Shouldn't they just pop up? I mean, I guess they popped up on the other thing. All right, I didn't like the way the other screen looked. Let me just go back to the first thing. 10 Commandments list right here. The 10 Commandments. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's analyze these a little bit. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall make no idols. You shall not take the name. You shall not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Keep the Sabbath day holy. Honor your father and your mother. You shall not murder. You shall not steal. You shall, look at y'all. You like, he skipped over the adultery. All right, number 7 is you shall not commit adultery. 8 is you shall not steal. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. Ooh, that's something we need to focus on. You shall not covet. I don't know what covet means. Any Christians, please let me know what you shall not covet means. It says number 6, one of my favorite numbers. You shall not murder. Does it give, am I missing something? Let's actually click on this. You shall not murder. This is the shortest of all the commandments, having one less word than the 8th commandment. God forbids murder, the unlawful taking of human life in private vengeance or otherwise. God forbids murder, the unlawful taking of human life in private vengeance or otherwise. This is actually, hold on. The unlawful taking, can there be a lawful taking of life if the commandment is you shall not murder? Oh, no, hold on. According to the King James Version. So maybe we need to look at some of these translations, and maybe this is why these things are so up in the air for people. If the commandment is you shall not murder, I don't understand why we got all these other additional things. God forbids murder, the unlawful taking of human life in private vengeance and otherwise. I think this word should be and otherwise. I don't know if that would make it change. Maybe it's the way that it sounds. We are not supposed to be murdering people. Hold on. Let me catch up with these comments. My bad. Hold on. Ernst wrote, buy an espresso machine and said, hold on. My fault. I got to catch up with all these. So Lucille wrote, I agree with him. It's better to prevent it from happening. That's peace right there. White flag. Love that. Ursi wrote, big facts. Ursi wrote, buy an espresso machine instead. Facts. Shout out to y'all. You are prophetic, and I love the way you observe things and making yourself better so others can become better too. Wow, Lucille got me geeked. Thank you, Lucille. Genuinely, I really appreciate that. Sincerely, I really do. It's when people that change or that are actively changing, and when you're making certain steps to become a better version of yourself, when you get that acknowledgement and other people see it, it does make you feel good. Not that you're doing it for everybody else, you're doing it for yourself, but it does make you feel good. Buy a convertible BMW instead, let the sun shine down on you, invite that energy. Facts. I don't want to be at no war. I don't want to be arguing, none of that. The most powerful weapon is prayer, not bombs. Let's go, Lucille. Am right here. Am working on the 10 Commandments. Now I need an English Bible. All right, so yeah, we got to figure out the Bible stuff. So it's we got to figure out the translations as far as it. But if it says this in the Bible, then why do we make exceptions? And why are these exceptions almost seen as just they're trivial? So let's take God's word. So if the commandment is thou shalt not kill, and I don't know how many people have died in Ukraine and Russia combined. I don't know how many people, I'm saying on both sides. I don't know how many people have died on both sides, Israel, Palestine, Hamas, Gaza, whatever, however we're categorizing it these days. Every single one of those deaths is against the commandments, right? So let's just look at it from this standpoint. We always talk about how everything's connected, like we're connected to nature, right? God created all this. That's what a lot of us believe, right? So if God created all this, and if everything's connected, and that to have order and righteousness, we need to follow these commandments. And one of the commandments is thou shalt not kill. If we are living outside of that and deliberately disobeying that, then isn't that going to impact society, nature, everything, this universe in a negative way? And this country, which, you know, when you go to court or anything else, you put your hand on that Bible, right? So we have biblical principles. But it's all BS because nobody's living by it. All we do is make justifications, no different than pastors trying to manipulate different scriptures and all this other stuff that we see a lot of them doing. Whatever. I like taking shots at pastors. Maybe I should do better at that. Maybe I shouldn't do that as much. Maybe that's a fault of mine. I'll look into it and I'll process it internally. I will. No different than we see a lot of other people using scripture and presenting it in a certain way to justify their position. We see it across the board with politicians. We see it in this amazing country that we live in called America. And a matter of fact, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna give you an example of this. This happened the other day. So when I was having my conversation with God the other day, let me actually go to it. Let me share this screen. I was thinking about the scripture that says pride. We're thinking about pride. Pride goeth before the fall. Proverbs 16:18. Pride goes before the. So this is what I found. The popular expression is somewhat different than the verse, but they carry the same basic message. Pride is dangerous. Let's go to the actual. Can we go to the actual? I want to go to the actual scripture. So this is what I did the other day. And y'all tell me, you see how all these are just showing the first part of it? You know what? This is what we'll do. Proverbs 16:18. Don't trip. You know how they're just, notice how they're only showing one part of it. Proverbs 16:18. So everybody's, you look at this. Notice this. Can y'all see it on the screen? Do I need to make it bigger? I'll see if I can make it a little bigger. Hold on. How do you make things bigger? I don't have a pad, so I don't think I can make it bigger. It is what it is. Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. But let's look at the next line. Better to be lowly in spirit along with the oppressed than to share plunder with the proud. I've never heard that second one. And I kept trying to, I kept reading it, and it was actually a different one that I saw. But even if we just focus on that, hold on. It is better to be of a lowly spirit with the poor than, this is the one that I saw. It is better to be a lowly spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. Do we ever focus on that aspect of it? It is better to be of a lowly spirit with the poor than to divide the spoils with the proud. Who is running our country? Who do we idolize? Based on the word, I'm looking at this, I'm like, hold on, this is backwards. Why has never, we always hear pride go before the fall, but we never look at the next line. It is better to be of a lowly spirit with the poor than to divide the spoil with the proud. I don't know if we're living like that. I don't know if we're living like that. And let me, hold on, let me make sure that I'm catching up with all these chats. It's disobedience that makes a lot happening in today's world. I agree. Disobedient behavior is the cause of a lot of the things that are happening right now in this world, and nobody's calling it out. We've become so accepting of things that we know are direct violations. We've become so accepting that somebody like Tucker can say what he said, and you wonder why. Where are all these other leaders saying this? You know what happens when you say something? You could sit here and say that, hey, what Hamas did was terrible, shouldn't have happened. What Israel's doing is terrible, shouldn't happen. You can't say that. You can't say that because we live in a world where we justify violence and killing people, even though it goes against our commandments. Because what we do is we consult with our convenience. Well, what's beneficial for me and my people and my family? Oh, well, I'll use the principles and apply my commandments in other areas, but when it comes to protecting my family, I'll ignore that. Look at what's going on over there. We don't even know where this fighting originated from. It's no different than the Bloods and Crips. We look at Bloods and Crips as being so, oh, look at these niggers. Yeah, everybody says it. White people, black people, we all look at them the same, right? Look at these niggers. Look what they're doing. So stupid, killing each other for land that they don't even own. Just destroying each other, people that look like them. What's the difference? What makes that so obviously wrong and blatantly wrong, but what makes, when countries do it, it right? Oh, they own the land. You don't own that land. You just conquered it. No different than a Blood saying, yo, this is my block. I run this shit now. Excuse my language. Sorry, Lucille. I apologize, seriously. What's the difference? We live in a country where every single politician that we are getting ready to place our vote on is okay with destroying other people, killing other people, dropping bombs, is not just speaking out, just saying this is wrong. Could you even imagine a politician coming out saying like, yo, killing is wrong, war is wrong? Instead, it's just justifications. Oh, well, okay, I'm Republican, so therefore, we back in Israel. That's what we doing. I bet. Yo, we destroying all Palestine, destroying Hamas. We don't care how many Palestinian lives got to die to go along with it. Doesn't matter. Oh, I'm Democrat. All right. Well, okay. Well, I don't really care about those people, but seems like a lot of our supporters do. So, all right, we'll just, yeah, we're gonna act like we with that. Y'all, sir, you saw what they wrote about idolatry. Hold on, let me keep going with the comments. Lucia wrote, pride leads destructions. Alana wrote, atonement is the part of religion people want to practice. Defying commandments, then pray for forgiveness is easier than self-control for many, which is why I can't bang with Jesus died for our sins. That removes all accountability of us as individuals. And it gets into the discussion of, this is why I'm not a religious person. Do you, like, you can rape a person, you can kill a person, but then if you say, hey, I'm accepting Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, I can get into, that person can get into heaven. But this other person that doesn't accept Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior, and maybe was an honorable person, righteous person their entire life, they don't get into heaven? Why would I even want to go to that party? I don't want to go to that party. I don't want to go to the party where I have to acknowledge somebody as my Lord and Savior. And once I do that, all of my sins are forgiven. And somebody who just lives righteously their entire lives, they can't get in because they don't accept somebody as their Lord and Savior. I'm good. I don't need to go to that party. That's not what heaven is for me. Send me down the street. I'll go down the block. Don't trip. Or I'll just stay at home and chill. I don't need to go out that night. Lucille wrote, and the Bible is clear about false preachers in the last days and times. They use scripture as a cover-up for their evil deeds, manipulation, and control tactics. It's dangerous. I agree 100%. They operate from the Jezebel spirit, and we should not tolerate Jezebels. We shouldn't, but we are. We're not only tolerating them, we're voting for them. We're voting for them. We're voting for all of these people that claim that they are righteous, whether you're evangelist, whether you're this, whether you're that, conservative this, across the board in all these religions. Who's going to be holding people accountable in these religions Religions have never been held accountable because they always justify God, their God, in why they should be able to kill other people. And if you think that I'm wrong, let's just look back at the history. Let's look back at the history. How many deaths have been caused because of religion? Because of me saying, well, my God, who I pray to, is better than your God. My book that I read is better than your book. Meanwhile, the actual gods, if y'all believe that they wrote the scriptures or that they wrote them through man, then why would God write scriptures through man that we deliberately violate, but then celebrate ourselves as being a part of that group? Like I said before, I should be able to know what team you're on without you wearing your uniform. I don't see a lot of Christians out here. I don't see a lot of Jewish people. I don't see a lot of Muslims. I don't see a lot of religious people, period, across the board. I don't see a lot of Buddhist people out here. I don't see it based on when you walk around in society. Do we feel like we're walking around in a society that is based on God's way of living? Do y'all feel that? Maybe I don't want my individual experience to cast a bad shadow on the overall society, right? Going back to what we talked about earlier. All right, so let's keep going. I want to keep going with Tucker. Give Tucker a couple more minutes, and then we'll wrap this up because I got to go.
Baby Hitler, famously.
Right.
Nuclear weapons. It's like just a mindless, childish sort of intellectual exercise to justify, like, oh, no, it's really good because someone else will get it. How about no? How about like spending all of your effort to prevent this from happening? Would you kill baby Hitler, famously?
Right.
So I don't know why we're sitting back and allowing this to happen if we really believe it will extinguish the human race or enslave the human race. Like, how can that be good?
Well, if God creates everything, if God created the universe and God creates people, God probably creates a process. And we think that we are very important because we are very important to us. But are we very important in a universal sense? No. Not really. Like if the Earth just imploded and disappeared, if the sun went supernova and our whole solar system was blown to bits, the universe still exists.
It depends
and
how
God
wide
created...
you're, for sure. In the end, as Conan O'Brien, the famous philosopher, once said, every grave goes unvisited, which is true, and that's an important perspective. Pull out the lens a little bit. Mm-hmm. Does it really matter? No, it doesn't.
But it does matter.
Do your kids, how about this? Do your children matter?
Yes, sure.
Do their lives matter? Would you die for them?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Everything matters. If you're not comfortable,
Exactly.
it matters. If you're sitting here like you don't want to wear headphones, like let's not wear headphones. That matters. Everything matters. I mean, at scale.
But what matters most, like...
Right, that is the evil, right? The evil is it's the same thing as saying the necessary evil of dropping nuclear bombs on civilians is if you don't do that, then there'll be more evil. Then more things will happen. It's kind of the same thing. Like it comes
from the same place, which is hubris.
You ever notice Joe Rogan's 100% right? How people justify doing wrong because if I don't do this wrong, then there'll be a bigger wrong. You know what it sounds like? Well, I'm going to vote for the lesser of two evils because if I don't vote for this person, then the other person's even worse. See how they manipulate us with fear and justify bad behaviors and bad decisions based on, oh, well, the other alternative is even worse. We see where this gets us, right? We see where this gets us, Biden and Trump. We have to adjust our way of thinking. We've had a flawed way of thinking that we've accepted for a very long time that if we do not change, it's only going to lead to destruction. Spiritual destruction, warfare, physical destruction, destruction on every front. The destruction of our nature. Do people actually read the Bible and read this stuff? I just started reading. I've never read the Bible front to back, beginning to end. I've never read it. But it's very clear that God says that we are connected to nature. At least my understanding, unless my understanding is just totally off. And if that's the case, do we not realize that nature impacts us, we impact nature. So the more that we're doing all this, we have an energy that we're putting out that is destructive, that all this hatred, of course, is going to lead to nature being the same. So build your ark, build your bunkers, or how about we just start living a little bit more godly, showing a little bit more love. So I'm gonna let me see what Tucker responds. We'll watch about 30 more seconds of this, and then we're gonna finish up with the. Oh man, it's 9:40.
Imagining you're God, you have unlimited power, and you have omniscience. You can imagine what the future is going to be. You can't. You're a fucking idiot. You're a person. Like, you can't even make your wife happy.
Right.
Like, the limits of your power are really obvious. The limits of your wisdom, same. So, like, don't jump into shit, big things, whose outcomes you can't predict with certainty. Like, you can't know. Go in with humility. I guess that's what I'm saying. Right? So,
yeah.
And do what you can, knowing that you're probably going to screw it up. And you probably won't achieve your goal, but like, you should try. And on the AI question, everyone I've ever talked to about, I'm hardly an expert. I don't own a computer, okay? But everybody I've ever talked to, and there's many people, was like, yeah, it's, could get away from us and enslave us. Well,
so that's a whole different conversation. So once again, I want to ask. Now, somebody write in. My dad wrote, which Tucker Carlson is that? And that's what I was about to ask. I already knew it. My dad's clowning because I knew that my dad, I'm sure that his thoughts on Tucker Carlson probably are not only pleasantries that come to mind when he hears the name. And then you see a video like this. This is why it's important for us to consume all the information. I tell you what, NBC won't broadcast this clip. Liberal stations won't show this clip. I don't even think conservative stations will show this clip. They pick and choose what they present to us as information, and they act like they're giving us a whole pizza when they're just giving us a bunch of crumbs. That's what ends up happening. So I know why my dad's writing that. And and what I was going to ask is, so think about how you first thought about Tucker Carlson when you just heard the name. Now think about that clip that you just heard from him. I don't know if it's going to completely change your perspective, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably a little bit different than the opinions that you had already generated in your mind based on just hearing his name. Oh, Lucille wrote, hold on, sorry about that. Lucille wrote, Lucille wrote, the truth tellers are just a few. Real people are not many. There's not a lot of truth tellers. There's not a lot of truth tellers. And by truth tellers, I want to make it very clear. We can debate facts. But when I say truth, I mean more genuine. There's not a lot of genuine people. There's people that get up here, politicians, people that we hold in high regards. They're not being genuine. They're manipulating facts. They'll present facts to us in a way that allows us that forces us to process it in a particular way, or that encourages us to process it in a particular way. People that are genuine, we have to appreciate. We may not like everything that they say, but the fact that we believe that what they're saying, they're being honest and genuine about it, that's very valuable, because you can have a conversation with a person like that. And you can walk away saying, hey, I disagreed, but I know exactly what I'm disagreeing with. I know exactly what I'm agreeing with. But when you have people that are just saying things to manipulate a group or to abide by a certain agenda, we don't know. They're just going to do what's in the best interest of them at that time. That's what we see right now happening. Damn, my dad is funny. Lucille wrote, the Bible is a compass for life. We can find every answer we're looking for in the Bible. When we speak the truth, our life is at risk. This is I'm glad that you brought this up, Lucille. I know that my parents always have feared that with my personality and, just the fact that I'm comfortable speaking on certain things. When we speak the truth, our lives are at risk. What does the Bible say? Do not be afraid, right? Do not fear. Says it 365 times. We talked about that last week. It's the most repeated phrase, I believe, in the Bible. I may be wrong on that. Do not be afraid. Fear is what you make it. Risk, I don't know. To be honest, I would say that when we speak lies, our lives are at risk. Look at how many lives are being destroyed right now from all the lies. When 9/11 happened, we went over, I forget, I don't want to speak in detail, but the people that we used 9/11 to create a war so Bush can get back for certain things that happened with his pops. It was based on lies. We were over there they were lying to us about what we were over there for. Pfizer was lying to us. At the very least, they were BSing us. When they said, oh, this prevents the spread. But then they come out in the Supreme Court or wherever they were and saying like, oh yeah, we had no evidence that, it had never been tested whether it would reduce the spread. We had no idea. That's lying. They lied to us about the numbers of people that died from COVID to create fear within us. And that fear probably killed more people than the actual condition. But because a lot of us, we don't read a lot, we don't understand how fear can actually kill. When I think sometimes when I say stuff like this, like fear kills people, I think I don't know if y'all are understanding what I'm saying based on, it's not my thoughts, it's based on the readings. It's based on very intelligent people giving their opinion. You can take it or leave it. It's based on a lot of science as well, and with the placebo. If you're not familiar with placebo effect, how people think controls their body. So if you're fearful and your main thought is, oh, I'm going to die. Like, oh, this is so scary. Everybody's dying. It's going to lead to more people dying. So I would argue that lies destroy more lives, and that they lies, I want to be very clear, LIES, they put our lives at risk more than telling the truth. But what they do is they scare us. The people that tell the truth, all mainstream media, they try to give them lashings. It's no different than slave times. Yo, you telling the truth? Oh, nah, we're gonna lash you. So we're gonna discourage other people to tell the truth. But who are we fearing when we say our lives are at risk? Do we fear man more than we fear the person that we say is our Lord and Savior? Nah, my life is not at risk from another human. Like, I ain't worried. I'm worried about how I honor God, right? Isn't that what y'all do when y'all accept Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior? Don't we prioritize being judged by God? Only God can judge me. Isn't that a common phrase? I see it a lot of tattoos, right? So if only God can judge us, amazing. Love that tat. So then we shouldn't be as concerned with other humans judging us. Not speaking truth is selfish. Not speaking truth is selfish. We see it across the board in a lot of different areas of our lives. Religion, we see it in relationships with a lot of our parents and grandparents not telling us the truth. And now we see a lot of destruction within our households. Lies destroy. Lies destroy. And we think that, oh, we can lie and it'll help us now. But what it's doing is just kicking the can down the road, and it's going to lead to the destruction of the next generations. So are you cool with lying so your life can be better, but making it harder for your kids and your grandkids? I guess that's something that we got to ask ourselves. Truth hurts, but is necessary. Manipulation is not love. I agree. Lucia wrote, I use Psalm 23, 35, 91 to protect myself and my children, all God's children. When I spoke the truth, my family got mad. Yep. They just gonna get mad. And when you speak truth and people get upset, that just shows where we are as a society. Because like Quee said, truth hurts, but it's necessary. And you know what hurts? It hurts to go work out. It hurts to go run. It hurts to go jog. It hurts to be healthy. It used to hurt me to eat broccoli and cauliflower. Ask my parents. Like felt like I was having like an allergic reaction to where I just had to throw it up. It hurt physically because mentally I did not want it. But you know what also hurts? Heart disease. What else are the leading causes? What are the leading causes? I believe the leading cause is death. All these different things, these cancers, that hurts. Ask somebody who had to go through chemo because they develop a certain type of cancer that may be linked to unhealthy living. That hurts. So which hurt do we want? Do we want the hurt of going out and working out and becoming stronger and that same workout becoming easier so we have to challenge ourselves more? Or do we want the hurt that comes with not doing those things and dying early, leaving our family behind, not being able to have a high quality of life, now forcing other people in our family to take care of us, becoming a burden because you're unhealthy? Which hurt do we want more? Which hurt matters more? All right. My dad said cancer, stroke, all these different things. I was sitting at a table yesterday. I wasn't even going to bring this up. This is only the last thing. I was sitting at dinner with my guy, Bruce, and his buddy. And his buddy was telling me, he was telling a story about how his father died. And before his father died from a particular cancer. And before his father died, he said, he told me, he's like, my father was a very intelligent man. And before he died, he did a study. And he wrote his son a letter saying, please do not eat red meat, because I'm convinced that based on my studying, my research, eating red meat caused my cancer. Eating red meat my entire life led to my cancer. That's what his dad told him, right? We know that certain things are linked to I don't know. Do we want to tell the truth or not? I don't even want to go down that path. But because a lot of times, just because you don't eat meat. Look, society manipulates us. Society manipulates us. What do they say? Where do you get your protein from if you don't eat meat? I'm good. I haven't had meat in about over 3 years. I'm not saying and I don't even tell people to not eat meat. I say like, I don't recommend you just cutting everything out completely. Just balance it out. I don't believe in extremes. You feel me? I believe that extremes can be good. I believe that extremes can be bad, but I don't. In order for something to be sustainable, I think it's easier for us to embrace balance. That's how I would look at it. So let me get into this last reading, and then we're going to finish up because we all got work to do. It's Friday. So this is another caption. This is the chapter on love. So love heals. Love facilitates healing. It transforms life. We see this in the true story about a duck hunter who was suddenly changed by witnessing an act of love. Excuse me. One day he was out duck hunting, which he often did for recreation. As per his usual experience, he saw a duck flying, shot it, and watched it fall to the ground, badly injured. To his sudden amazement, he watched as the female mate of the injured duck immediately flew down on top of her companion and spread her wings over him to shelter him. Let me say that again. He was out duck hunting, which he often did for recreation. As per his usual experience, he saw a duck flying, shot it, and watched it fall to the ground, badly injured. To his sudden amazement, he watched as the female mate of the injured duck immediately flew down on top of her companion and spread her wings over him to shelter him. Seeing her love, the heart of a hunter was changed. He never hunted again. Once you become loving, there are certain things you can never do again. And there are certain things you can do in the energy field of love that are impossible otherwise. Moreover, people do things for you that they would not do for others. Love makes possible the miraculous without labeling it miraculous. Love has a transfiguring effect. We'll leave it there. We need more love. And it's interesting when I was reading that, why that stood out to me is for the obvious reasons, but also a lot of times I don't keep it real sometimes. This is when I don't always keep it real. When people ask me about not eating meat, fish, or eggs. And I typically respond as like, oh, it was just a bet, and now I'm just so stubborn. I had to Convinced myself to not do it. Now it's stubborn to go back. Probably the main reason why I do not eat meat is because now that I've gone over 3 years, or I've gone every period, it's like every year I reevaluate it. It used to be every 6 months. Now that I've gone a certain amount of time and being able to live in what I believe is pretty healthy way, you know, I feel like I just ran my best, the fastest 3 miles I've ever ran. You know what I mean? Strength is a little down, but it is what it is. We're working towards it just because my weight's down so much. The main reason has nothing to do with health. I'm sorry, let me be very clear. It does have to do with health, but not how we see health. The main reason I don't eat meat is because I've survived. I believe I've thrived with my health, with everything, my mental, everything goes into health, with my wellness. And I think a big part of it is from not having to kill animals. I've been able to live in this particular way, thriving, and without killing another animal, without killing another being that I'm connected to, in order to survive. I mean, in order to feed myself. Every single meal, think of all the death that we're consuming. Now, some people can say, oh, well, you know, what about plants? You're killing plants. If I take a corn off the stalk, that stalk is fine. If I take a tomato off of the plant, no, that plant's still going to grow. You see the difference? And I'm not saying, and this is why I don't say it, because I don't want people to, this is just where I'm at in this journey, how I'm seeing things. I don't judge you. I promise you. I promise I do not judge anybody for eating meat. It's just, this is why I don't even say it. If I did judge you, y'all know I would voice my opinion. I just now, let's say for 3 meals out of the day, let's say you're eating bacon and eggs or whatever else you're eating. Let's say you eat about 2 animals per meal. Let's say 1 animal per meal. That's 3 times a day. That's in a week, 21 times. In a month, what's that? About 84, 87, 90 times that we are consuming something that lost their life in order to feed ourselves. That is why that is the main reason, I promise you, the main reason why I have decided to not eat meat. The main reason. Now, why I say was, it's not health related. It is health related. It's for my mental health. It's for my energy overall. I just feel better. My perspective on life is just better because I can make a conscious decision to figure out a different way to feed myself rather than consuming an animal that lost his life for me to eat. So I'm not trying to make y'all, influence y'all. I'm just being honest with y'all because this stood out to me. This man stopped hunting because of a loving experience that he saw. So let me bring up a conversation that I had with one of my boys that hunts. He said, and I thought he made a great point. I've actually brought it up on this show. He made a comment to me when I was talking about like, yo, why you like hunting? And he said, well, at least I'm killing the animals that I'm eating. I said, that's a great point. If you're going to eat it, you can't talk ish about somebody else hunting them. So for me, just like this transformed this man from hunting, if you no longer feel good about hunting these animals that we're eating, that may make you question whether or not it's okay for somebody else to hunt them and you consume them. So it is what it is. I'll leave that there. Let's do our 30 seconds of visualization since it's Friday. Let's figure out, matter of fact, we're not going to finish out how we can accomplish our goals. We're going to focus on love. We're going to focus on love and healing and how we can become more loving people, more loving and objective people. I think those two things, and I think they go hand in hand, becoming more objective and becoming more loving. All right, so let's think about what that means for us. 30 seconds, you visualize it, how you want to visualize it. I'm going to do the same, and then we'll check back in 30 seconds. So let's go. Ooh, stomach growling. All right. Y'all know what it is, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all know what we're here to do. Elevate on purpose, both from a standpoint of providing our community, our village, our tribe, our family, everything they need to elevate. That's what we're here to do, right? To spread love, to help others elevate. And in order to do so, we need to make sure that we are becoming everything that we want to contribute to everybody else. All right. So we got to hold ourselves accountable to higher standards. All right. Let's move with the godly standards that we say that we live by. All right, so let's start incorporating those. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Y'all know what we're here to do. Get to that bag, and that bag is filled with whatever you believe it's filled with. I told y'all, mine right now is filled with health, wealth, integrity, and happiness. In no particular order. Maybe I'll order it out. I guess health is definitely going to go first. Or actually integrity, whatever. No particular order. If I had to think about it, maybe the next show we'll break it down. But that's what I'm filling up my bag with. Y'all decide what y'all filling up your bag with. Finish on a Friday. Finish what you said you were going to finish what you started on Monday. That you had all that excitement. Hopefully you had some excitement. And if you're not excited on a Monday, then that's a problem. Maybe you're not living in your purpose. Maybe you should reevaluate some things. Maybe you should come down to Miami and help build this community that we're about to build. Neither here nor there. Actually, it's here and there. It's here everywhere. That's what we're building. So that's the energy that we're putting out. That's what we're living by. Principles, morals, and values. What are your principles? What are your values? How can we come together and love each other more and stop getting divided and stop looking at lives being lost as if they're just in a video game? Let's come together. Let's not get manipulated. Let's be more objective and show more love. And with that, I'll see y'all on Monday. Ew. Hold on. Let me finish. I got a couple more Queens Road Marathon show. We that are genuine are here to break the chains. Love it. AM love, spread love. I give love, sending you all love. Coming to Miami soon. Lucille coming to Miami soon. All right. I'll see y'all on Monday. Ew.